Hello and welcome to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute inside the Leader Studio. My name is Luis Campillo. I'm the president of CHCI Alumni Association. And today I'm joined by Kimberly Lopez, one of our current fellows, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience here in DC and the impact that the CHCI Fellowship has had in her life and her career. So Kimberly, tell me a little bit about your experience so far here in Washington, D.C.
My experience has been really, really great. I'm a sponsored fellow. I'm sponsored by SEIU, and I actually had the opportunity to work with them. So this first half of my placement, for my first placement, I was placed at SEIU in their immigration team.
Right.
So I had a great opportunity to see how an organization is able to impact legislation. And so, although it hasn't been introduced yet, we've been doing a lot of work to get to the point where we can actually have immigration reform hopefully passed this year.
Great. So you were part of the team that was laying the foundation to make.
Yes, we've been doing a lot for the campaign, and it's been a great experience to see how it is on the other side of the coin. You know, to see what goes into actually having someone, what prompts them to go ahead and make this legislation happen.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your life, your experience before CHCI. What brought you to Washington, D.C.? What about the program? What about the institute caught your attention?
Sure. So throughout my college experience, I was very involved in a group called MICHA, which is they advocate a lot for immigrant rights and different issues. But during my 4 years, we focused very much on the DREAM Act. And so I knew that after college, I wanted to work with immigrant rights in some way. And so when I looked at the CHCI website, I realized that it's a policy issue. Immigration is a policy issue, and we need legislation to fix the system that we have now. So when I looked at it as an opportunity to kind of get in there and see how it's made, how later I may be able to impact future legislation, whether it be with immigration or another area. But it really showed me an opportunity that I would be able to learn how it works and hopefully one day be the person that's there impacting what happens in the long run.
That's great, and one of the reasons I enjoyed this conversation with you is because when I did my CHCI fellowship, I worked on immigration issues. Awesome. I worked over at the National Immigration Law Center, and that was sort of my perspective as a young immigrant who wanted to make a difference in my community, wanted to come to DC and have the opportunity to learn about the policy process. I had no idea that I was going to get a chance to work with the who is who of immigration policy reform. A lot of folks who are still involved in that effort, but others who have moved on to different places. But obviously the tools and the skills, the awareness I learned about the policy making process at CHCI have been instrumental to my career till now, and I like how sort of, at least personally, I feel that it's coming full circle, and now I'm in a position where I can tell people not only my experience but some of the work that's continuing on through your work and that of the other fellows. So tell me how the CHCI experience has impacted your outlook on what comes next after the fellowship. I know you have a few months away to enjoy. I know you're going to be transitioning to the second half of the program, but tell me a little bit about how your thinking is right now about what comes next.
Well, the great thing about CHCI is they're able to give us a lot of different exposure to different areas, not only through our placements, but also during our Friday programming. And we've had talks about education, health, and you name it, we've had the discussion. And so in that sense, I've had a great opportunity to kind of see the different areas that I might be interested in, because although I know I want to work with immigrants, I don't know yet exactly in what field I would want to help impact their lives, but I do know that it'll come down to a policy issue. We need policy issue. We need policy to help improve the lives of the people that live in this country, and if it's not us helping to make it, then it won't be what we need. So I think in that sense, I've been able to be exposed to a lot of different areas. And
so you feel empowered by the experience?
Yes, definitely, yeah. And I see so many opportunities to help our community, so I'm very excited for that.
That's great. So you have an interesting experience because as the SEIU fellow, you get to work with them directly, and also now you're going to get a chance to work on Capitol Hill.
Yes.
But what has been your interaction with the CHCI supporters? I know during the public conference, you get a chance to interact with a lot of the sponsors and supporters of the organization and throughout your experience. Can you talk about what that support means to you and what sort of being introduced to that family who supports the work that CHCI does and the experience that affords you?
Sure, I think it's been great to see so many different organizations that are committed to us and willing to lend out their hand, whether it be just to have a discussion with you on an area that you didn't really think about, or to actually, offer their expertise in whatever field that they know the most about. So I think in that sense it's been great, but then also that you have all this support coming from this large community, from all different types of organizations, be they huge companies or unions like SEIU. I think that that's amazing, and I think that through organizations like those, we're able to really make an impact and we can really get our voices heard.
That's great. And tell me a little bit, I know you still have a few more months to go, but tell me, how do you plan to stay connected with CHCI? How do you plan to pay forward some of the opportunities that you have been able to enjoy during your fellowship experience?
Sure. Well, I'm definitely hoping to be a part of the Alumni Association and be as active as possible, so that would be great. And on top of that, I mean, I'm still, since I just graduated from college, I have a lot of connections still back at school, and I've definitely been encouraging all of my my classmates to apply, whether it be to the internship or to the fellowship program. And as I meet young people, I'm definitely telling them about the program, because I think it's something that people don't really hear about. And I think that through each fellow, we're able to reach out to our own networks and really push the program, because I think it's an amazing opportunity. And the more people that hear about it, the more people that eventually can partake in it and really get a lot out of it, and then impact the future. So I'm really excited for that.
That's great. So any last words before we conclude our conversation today about your experience, about what you recommend to the next generation of Latino leaders, anything you want to say to the sponsors?
Well, I want to thank all of the sponsors, especially SEIU. I feel very fortunate to be here. It's been an amazing experience thus far, and I know it's just going to get better. I'm excited to go to the Senate and see what that will be like. I think that through all of the different fields that all of the fellows are working in, we're going to have a really exciting future, and I know that the Latinos are going to be leading it, so I'm really excited to be sure that I'm going to be a part of it, because this program has allowed me to really sharpen my skills and ensure that I will be one of the next Latino leaders.
Great. Well, you're already a Latina leader, so thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your experience, your powerful experience and example for not only us, the alumni, but the folks that are looking for a way to make a difference in our community and our nation. So thank you so much for joining us today. Again, to learn more about CHCI programs, please visit our website, and please, we appreciate the support that you can lend to the next generation of Latino leaders. Thank you.